Well, it all started on Sunday the 11th of August. We left Brisbane, travelled through Gympie, then on to the Burnett Highway and up to the Cruitt Tops National Park. The water level must get substantially high here as the gauge measures 2 metres. Wow, we had a chilly night, but what a great place to camp. The Wall campground area features some grassy clearings on the southern bank of Annie Creek, with 3 defined campsites. Okay, we just need to negotiate our way back up this hill, which had a couple of technical spots, but otherwise no biggie. From here, we'll head to the bomber crash site. From the top of the hill, it was a short drive down to the car park of the bomber site. We are at the beautiful Betsy crash site. This self-guided walk takes you on a 400 metre circuit through the site. The signs along the way reveal a story of beautiful Betsy. It takes you on an easy 30-minute return walk from this point on. So back in February 1945, 8 servicemen died when beautiful Betsy crashed here in unknown circumstances. The recent discovery of the site lays to rest the long-standing mystery surrounding the fate of beautiful Betsy and her crew. This site represents the discovery of loss. A loss of life, aircraft and time. The site and wreckage hold historical and spiritual significance. It lay here for 49 years before, after a controlled burn, it was discovered by Park Ranger Mark Rowe. A specialist United States recovery team from Hawaii spent several weeks here in September 1994. They recovered some skeletal remains, personal effects including identification tags, personal bracelets, rings and military buttons and coins. The site gives you some indication as to how much force was in the impact. We are standing in front of one of the engines that has been thrown uphill at least 100 metres from the point of impact. This reflects the mass and force of impact that tore them loose from the wings. The distance from here to the tail section indicates the aircraft was travelling at high velocity when it crashed. Various gear components within the engine have actually been driven through each other. If you stand here quiet and still for a moment, there was no parachutes opened, no radio distress call, and the landing gear remained retracted. These factors indicate that the crew did not have time to respond to the impending crash until the final seconds. A sombering thought. On the plaque there is a closing note. We ask that you respect this site and remember that it represents an important association between Australia and the United States and Allied forces during World War II, and is the final resting place of 8 servicemen. To make matters even worse in this tragedy, Flight Officer Cannon was on his way to Brisbane to be married in 4 days, and Flight Lieutenant Cook was to be his best man. There's a short drive to the lookout. This is one amazing sight. Whilst a little hazy, you can still see for miles. Today sees our destination, the Capricorn Caves. We'll have a fuel stop in Rockhampton, then drive through to the caves, where Liz has organised an adventure caving session for us. That should be fun. Then we've treated ourselves and booked a cabin for the night. After one night in Townsville, we head further north, checking out Balgal Beach. Isn't this a cracker of a spot? Then it's through to Ingham. As we head out of Ingham, you pass through some of Queensland's pristine cane growing country.
Let's say it's a boat that we're all in together, that barely stays afloat while we all discuss the weather. How long can we all go on before we change our ways? How long till the break of dawn? How long till it days? How long till it days? Let's say it's a bed we all know is on fire. Pharaohs spin our heads, but no one calls out liar. How long can we all go on before we change our ways? How long till the break of dawn? How long till it days? How long till it days? How long can it all go on before we change?
Just west of Ingham is Wallaman Falls. Wallaman Falls is Australia's highest single drop waterfall. It is situated in the Girragun National Park, surrounded by World Heritage rainforest. Stony Creek plunges 268 metres in a clear single drop, often through a rainbow-fringed cloud of mist. This country never ceases to amaze. This is like paradise.
Here's me out of the cantilever. Holy dooly. 268 metres.
We were told to keep an eye out, as cassowaries can regularly be spotted walking along the sides of the road, quite often with chicks during the breeding season. Oh well, not so lucky today. As we travel up the coastal range from Wallaman Falls, we will follow the Mount Cox Lava Plains Road, which meets up with the Kennedy Highway. This will then take us on to Undara and the lava tubes. It seems every time we go away we manage to find ourselves in a bushfire, and this is no exception, as we can see smoke on the horizon as we make our way up the range. They're doing some controlled burning this time, but we do have to wait our turn to sneak past as flames are licking quite close to the road.
You've got a B double, confirm? Correct, 1B double. Rightio, just give me a moment. Sure, there's one there where you are.
I look out today. Yep, we're here.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, fellas. Looking for the B double, yeah. It's not a big B double, but it's a B double. We enjoyed this section of road, travelling through pastoral properties and rolling hills. We pass over man-made bridges that have been built to try and defend their piece of road from the ravages of flooding creeks. This truly is Big Sky country. Finally, we made our way to the Kennedy Highway and make our way to the Undara lava tubes. Here we will spend 2 full days and experience what it has to offer.
Welcome to the Undara National Park. Undara National Park is home to the world-famous Undara lava tubes. Over 190,000 years ago, Mother Nature created one of the rarest and most interesting natural attractions in the world. The word Undara means a long way in Aboriginal language. The Undara lava tubes were created when a major volcano erupted, its molten lava flowing down a rocky riverbed. A staggering 23 cubic kilometres of lava flowed and kept flowing for 160 kilometres, making it the world's longest lava flow from a single volcano. Huge caves, some over 21 metres wide and up to 10 metres high, have formed in places along the tubes. As the top layer quickly cooled and crusted, the fiery magma below continued to flow through the tubes, taking it further and further from the volcano and thus creating the present-day lava tubes. As the eruption slowed and then stopped, the lava drained out of the tubes, leaving a series of long, hollow tunnels. Ancient roof collapses created deep, dark and moist sections where fertile pockets of rainforest can now be seen. There are now plants and animals that thrive in their new environment. Due to the fact that Undara is a national park and the lava tubes are so old, the only way that they are accessible is through a tour with accredited guides. Once inside the tubes, it feels as if you have stepped back into another world. While in most caves you expect to find stalactites and stalagmites, Undara is unique in that the majority of the tube walls are smooth. This is down to the way the hot magma flowed and cooled through the tubes, creating a smooth surface. Undara lava tubes truly is an experience you will never forget. We do it pretty tough out here. After a little cheese and bubbles, we're going to head down to one of the cave entrances to hopefully see the bats leave for a night of feeding. You could feel the warmth of the cave as we headed to the opening. This was amazing to have that many bats heading out and not one of them hit anybody, even with the volume of them exiting the cave at the same time. On the second day, we decided to check out the walks that are available in the area. But due to the forecasted temperatures of high 30 degrees, we decided to make an early start, so head off with breakfast and lunch in our packs. We took the Rosella Lookout Track, which is around 12 kilometres long. Some of the things that we saw on our way, the old bush pegs, kapok trees or the silk cotton tree, and an old bloke that looked a bit lost as well. On the way back we took a detour to Atkinson's Lookout, which overlooks the southern side of the lava tubes and presents you with some magnificent views overlooking the savanna plains of the area. So today we head through to Cobalt Gorge. I want to go via Mount Surprise as there's a four-wheel drive track through the beautiful but dry Copperfield Gorge, where the aim is to make Ainslie for lunch. But before we leave Undara, a visit to the Kalkarni crater is a must. check in to Kobold Gorge, where we'll be staying for the next 2 nights. There is a quartz blow about 5 k's out from the cabin park. The opportunity to get a sunset on the quartz could not be missed, and it goes without saying a sunset should always be celebrated with a wee drink and nibbles. On the next episode, we find an infinity pool in the outback. See our first freshwater crocs. Damn! Yes, we find one of them. And bugger, looks like our passage will be delayed.